Walk alone like a lone wolf. Denzel Washington, Stoicism. If you want to be strong, learn to enjoy being alone. In life, there comes a moment when you find yourself walking a path no one else can tread with you. Friends may drift away, people around you will leave, and even family can let you down. That's not just a possibility, it's a certainty. We all begin surrounded by others, but as we grow and evolve, we realize that the journey is ultimately ours alone. Sometimes, you must embrace solitude, like a lone wolf. The lone wolf concept isn't about isolation. It's about cultivating the strength to rely on yourself, to move forward with courage when the world seems against you, and to trust your instincts when support is nowhere to be found. To walk alone means becoming your own guide, your own source of power. There is a profound resilience in that. Society often pushes you to stay within the pack, to move with the crowd, to play it safe within boundaries. They want you to remain comfortable because they fear what happens when you step out on your own. They fear your potential, your strength, and the heights you could reach when you choose the road less traveled. But remember this: real growth doesn't happen when you're surrounded by comfort. Growth takes place in the wild, in the face of challenge, when you push through alone and overcome. It's there that you find yourself. It's there that you discover who you truly are. Think about the wolf. It doesn't seek approval or protection from a crowd. It trusts its instincts, hunts alone, and thrives on its own terms. That is the mindset you need. Trust in your ability to step away from the safety of others' validation and move forward knowing you have what it takes, regardless of who is with you or who isn't. Welcome to Stoic in Your Life, where we delve into what it means to stand tall, even when the path is yours alone. Lesson 1. Embrace solitude for strength. He who is brave is free, said Seneca, reminding us that true strength lies not in the comfort of the crowd, but in the quiet confidence of standing alone. Embracing solitude is not a retreat, it is an advance into the very core of who you are. For men aged 30 to 65, navigating careers, relationships, and personal growth, understanding the power of walking alone can be transformative. Life will present moments where support dissipates, friendships fade, and even family might falter. These are not hypothetical scenarios. They are inevitable realities of life's complex journey. Yet in these moments of solitude, the strongest versions of ourselves are forged. Just like a lone wolf navigating the wilderness, you must rely on your instincts, sharpen your focus, and press forward with unwavering resolve. The metaphor of the lone wolf is powerful. Unlike the safety of the pack, where decisions are diffused and risks are shared, walking alone teaches self-reliance, a virtue admired by the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This is not just poetic philosophy, it's practical advice. In modern life, where external validation through likes, followers, and fleeting accolades often drives behavior, the ability to detach and find contentment within oneself is a superpower. Solitude allows you to understand your thoughts, motivations, and true desires. It challenges you to make decisions not influenced by others' opinions, but aligned with your core values. People around you might encourage conformity, urging you to follow the safe path and stay within the bounds of what is familiar and expected. Why? Because society fears those who break away from the norm. They are intimidated by those who forge their own path, who display the kind of potential that can't be controlled or predicted. But here's the truth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. Epictetus reminded us, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Growth emerges from the trials we face alone, the challenges that test our mettle when no one is watching, and the victories that come when we push ourselves beyond the known. It's in the wilderness of solitude, not the safety of the pack, that true strength is discovered. Picture a lone wolf. It's not just surviving. It's thriving because it trusts its own instincts, hunts with purpose, and adapts to whatever challenges arise. This is the mentality you need to develop. The willingness to face the world with confidence rooted not in others' validation, but in your own capabilities. When you choose to step away from the comfort of collective opinions and the need for external affirmation, you embark on a journey where you become your own compass. You begin to move with conviction, driven not by the noise around you, but by the clarity within. In our modern world, where it's easy to be swept up in the rush of collective thinking, being able to walk alone sets you apart. Walking alone doesn't mean isolation in the negative sense. It means independence. It means owning your path, taking responsibility for your choices, and building the kind of mental toughness that few possess. Aristotle believed, "He who has overcome his fears will truly be free." This is where your power lies, in the choice to stand firm in solitude, to push through the moments when doubt creeps in and the path forward seems unclear. Most people give up at the first sign of resistance. They seek comfort in numbers, reassurance from others. But real growth, the kind that transforms you from ordinary to extraordinary, happens when you persist through the hard times without anyone else's approval or assistance. Think of the times in your life when you overcame a challenge without leaning on anyone else. Those moments defined you, strengthened you, and revealed what you are truly capable of. Society today often promotes the idea that success is tied to how many people support you, how big your network is, or how many followers you can gather. But success built on such foundations is fragile. When the applause fades and the spotlight dims, you must be comfortable standing on your own 2 feet. As Seneca aptly put it, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. This isn't to say that community and support don't matter. They do. However, the strongest individuals are those who don't depend on them to validate their worth or fuel their journey. The reality is that choosing to walk alone will invite criticism. People will question your decisions, misunderstand your motives, and doubt your path because it doesn't align with what they deem normal. But it is not their journey, it's yours. Remember, most people are so wrapped up in seeking approval and conforming that they miss the opportunities solitude brings. When you walk your path with conviction, you gain a new level of freedom and self-awareness. You become less swayed by trends and opinions, more focused on what truly matters to you. You start to see life not as a competition with others, but as a mission to reach your own potential. So, to the men who feel the weight of expectations, who battle the noise of social comparison, and who wonder if they can handle going against the grain, know this: you can. You are capable of more than you've been led to believe. Walking alone isn't a sign of weakness, it's a testament to your strength. Embrace solitude not as loneliness but as your proving ground, where you develop the resilience and conviction to stand tall in a world that constantly seeks to pull you into its current. As you step forward, remember that the greatest journey you will ever take is the one where you learn to walk alone, guided by the most important ally you will ever have, yourself. Lesson 2. Self-reliance is key. Self-reliance is the only road to true freedom, and being one's own person is its ultimate reward, said Patricia Sampson, and this truth runs deep, especially for those seeking strength through Stoic principles. When we talk about self-reliance, we're not just talking about managing daily tasks on your own. It's about cultivating a mindset that empowers you to face challenges without waiting for someone else to solve them for you. Life has a way of throwing unexpected twists, situations that test your patience, your courage, and your resolve. Think of those moments when things go wrong at work, when relationships falter, or when you stand at a crossroads unsure of what comes next. In those moments, relying on your own judgment without seeking validation or guidance from others is where true strength is forged. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wisely noted, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This realization is essential in today's world, where constant distractions and social pressure can make it easy to forget that your power comes from within. Consider the story of a man who lost his stable job in his late 40s. With a family to support and bills piling up, he could have chosen to wallow in despair or wait for external help. But instead, he tapped into his own resourcefulness, assessed his skills, and started a small business based on his passion for woodworking. It wasn't easy. The nights were long and the stress was high, but his self-reliance allowed him to persevere. Over time, he not only managed to support his family but also found fulfillment in something he built from scratch. What drives someone to face these obstacles alone? What pushes a person to keep going when the safety net is gone? The answer is self-reliance. It's the knowledge that no matter how tough life becomes, you have the capacity to adapt, create, and overcome without leaning on others to hold you up. This doesn't mean isolating yourself or rejecting help when it's truly needed, but it's about cultivating the assurance that you are capable of handling life's storms, even if no one else stands beside you. You might wonder, what's so important about self-reliance in a world where connections and networks seem to be everything? The answer lies in the stability it offers. When you build your foundation on your abilities and not on external factors that can shift or disappear, you create a life that cannot be easily shaken. How often do we see people who appear confident only to crumble when their support system fails them? Those who rely solely on others' validation or external success may find themselves lost when those elements are stripped away. Ralph Waldo Emerson, the philosopher who championed the idea of self-reliance, once stated, "Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string." In trusting yourself, you create an inner compass that guides you regardless of life's unpredictable nature. Think about modern society. We live in a time where social media often dictates self-worth, where opinions are shared freely and judgment feels inescapable. It becomes easy to question your decisions or compare your path to others who seem to be achieving more. But here's the hard truth. Relying on external validation will only keep you running in circles, chasing approval that is never fully satisfying. Self-reliance breaks that cycle. It teaches you to pause, listen to your own voice, and move forward with confidence in your choices. When you can stand firm in your beliefs, despite the noise, you reach a level of peace that few understand. The path of self-reliance is not free of doubt. There will be times when you question whether you're making the right moves. The difference is, even in those moments of uncertainty, you learn to rely on your resilience. You push forward not because someone else told you to, but because you know deep down that you have the strength to endure. Ask yourself this. When challenges arise, do you wait for others to lead, or do you take charge of your path? The habit of turning inward for answers and trusting your own judgment is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Self-reliance is what helps you face new ventures, take risks, and ultimately grow. It's what makes you wake up each day ready to face whatever comes your way, knowing that your foundation is built on unshakable ground. You might be wondering, isn't it lonely to rely so much on yourself? The truth is, while it might feel isolating at first, there is immense satisfaction in proving to yourself that you can rise to any occasion. Over time, you'll realize that self-reliance isn't about shutting others out. It's about being prepared to stand on your own when needed, making you a better partner, friend, and leader. The lesson here is clear. Self-reliance is a cornerstone of personal freedom. It grants you the confidence to act independently and the courage to pursue paths that others might shy away from. So next time you face a challenge, don't immediately look to others for answers. Pause, trust yourself, and remember that within you lies the power to face life head-on. Embrace it, nurture it, and you'll find that self-reliance not only helps you survive, it helps you thrive. Lesson 3. Growth comes from challenges. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body, said Seneca, a timeless reminder that the path to true growth is paved with challenges. Have you ever wondered why we often face setbacks just when we're striving for something better? Life has a way of testing us, of placing obstacles in our way, not to push us down but to push us forward. Growth comes not when things are easy, but when you face adversity head-on and come out stronger on the other side. Think about it. When you're in the middle of a difficult time, it's easy to feel overwhelmed or question whether you're on the right path. But what if I told you that these very moments are what shape you into the person you're meant to become? The truth is, it's in the struggle that we discover our true potential. When you learn to view challenges not as roadblocks but as stepping stones, everything changes. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." How many of us would have the patience or resilience to keep going after repeated failures? Edison's relentless pursuit of his goals taught him more than success ever could. And it's not just Edison. Each of us has our own moments of struggle that force us to dig deeper. Perhaps you've experienced setbacks at work, faced difficult relationships, or dealt with personal disappointments. In those times, it's tempting to give up or look for an easy way out. But it's precisely these situations that teach us the most. They reveal who we truly are and push us beyond what we thought possible. Have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what can I learn from this challenge? Asking this question shifts your mindset from seeing obstacles as threats to seeing them as opportunities for growth. When we think about the lone wolf, a creature that survives in the wild through sheer determination, we can learn a powerful lesson. The lone wolf doesn't look for an easy path. It relies on its instincts, adapts to harsh conditions, and emerges stronger after each battle. This is the mentality we need to cultivate in our own lives. Facing life's challenges alone builds resilience, the kind of inner strength that no amount of comfort or success can provide. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound statement encapsulates the Stoic belief that obstacles aren't hindrances but essential parts of the journey. Every challenge you face forces you to learn, adapt, and become better equipped for the future. So, next time you're up against a tough situation, ask yourself, how is this helping me grow? You might be surprised by the answer. In today's fast-paced world, we're often surrounded by messages that encourage us to seek comfort, avoid risk, and take the easy route. Social media, movies, and even well-meaning friends can make it seem like life should be smooth and straightforward. But have you ever noticed that the people who inspire us the most are the ones who have overcome significant challenges? Whether it's an athlete recovering from a career-ending injury, an entrepreneur who built a business from nothing, or someone who turned personal tragedy into a source of strength, their stories resonate because they demonstrate the power of resilience. It's in these stories that we see the truth. Growth isn't handed to you, it's earned. Think back to a time in your own life when you faced a major challenge. Maybe it was starting over in a new city, dealing with the loss of a loved one, or taking on a job that pushed you beyond your comfort zone. At that moment, it probably felt overwhelming, even impossible. But when you reflect on it now, what did you gain? What lessons did you carry forward? These experiences are the foundation of your strength. When life throws the next challenge your way, and it will, remember that you've faced difficulties before and come out stronger. You have the tools within you to do it again. But why does growth come only through challenges? Because growth requires change, and change is often uncomfortable. When you're pushed out of your comfort zone, you're forced to confront your weaknesses, learn new skills, and develop a new level of mental toughness. Seneca also said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This is a call to embrace the struggle, to understand that the friction you feel now is polishing you into a better version of yourself. And while it's natural to feel fear or doubt when facing the unknown, it's equally important to move forward in spite of those feelings. Courage, after all, isn't the absence of fear but the decision to act despite it. So how can you apply this to your daily life? Start by recognizing that setbacks are not failures. They are part of your learning curve. Every time you're faced with a challenge, pause and ask yourself, what is this teaching me? This simple question shifts your focus from frustration to growth. It allows you to see that each difficulty is preparing you for something greater. Surround yourself with stories of those who've walked difficult paths and emerged stronger. And remember that the struggle you're experiencing now is building a resilience that will serve you for years to come. So, when you find yourself in the midst of a challenge, don't shy away. Embrace it, face it, and know that on the other side of that struggle is the growth you've been searching for. As you continue on your journey, keep this thought close. The obstacle is the way. Your challenges are not setbacks, they are setups for the person you are becoming. Lesson 4. Be willing to step away from the crowd. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult, said Seneca, emphasizing the importance of courage in the face of the unknown. One of the hardest yet most transformative lessons in life is learning to step away from the crowd and carve your own path. This lesson is particularly significant for men aged 30 to 65 who are navigating the complex terrain of personal growth, career ambitions, and societal expectations. The truth is, the comfort of the crowd often disguises itself as safety, but it comes at the cost of authenticity and true potential. When you're constantly surrounded by others, moving with the collective rhythm, following trends, and seeking approval, it becomes easy to lose sight of who you really are and what you truly want. But have you ever asked yourself, what happens when I choose my own path, even if it means walking alone? That question alone holds the key to profound growth. Stepping away from the crowd requires not just courage, but deep self-trust. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This is a reminder that true fulfillment doesn't come from seeking external validation. It comes from living according to your own principles and values. In today's world, where social media creates an endless loop of comparison and competition, choosing to step away can feel daunting. The pressure to conform, to fit into predefined molds, can be overwhelming. Yet, walking your own path means embracing the discomfort of solitude and learning to stand tall without leaning on the opinions of others. This isn't just about being different for the sake of it, it's about being true to yourself. How often do you make decisions based on what you believe, rather than what you think others expect of you? This is where the lone wolf mentality comes in, a powerful metaphor for those who are strong enough to seek out their own path. The lone wolf doesn't follow the pack for protection or approval. It walks its own path, guided by its instincts and honed by experience. This independence may appear isolating, but it's where real strength and character are built. When you choose to step away from the crowd, you're choosing to trust yourself, to be your own guide. And yes, the road can be challenging, filled with uncertainty and moments where you question if you're on the right track. But that's precisely where growth happens. The philosopher Epictetus wisely stated, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In other words, don't fear the judgment or misunderstanding of others. True progress often begins when you're willing to be misunderstood. Think about modern life. How many times have you made choices to avoid standing out, just to stay within the safe confines of the crowd? Maybe you held back an innovative idea at work, stayed in a job that no longer fulfilled you, or avoided pursuing a passion because it didn't fit the conventional path. But stepping away is what separates those who merely exist from those who truly live. Steve Jobs once said, "Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life." This isn't just advice for entrepreneurs. It's a guiding principle for anyone seeking to find their purpose. The moment you decide to follow your path, you'll encounter resistance from society, from friends, and even from within yourself. But this resistance is a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone and into a space where real transformation begins. Walking alone doesn't mean rejecting the community or turning your back on support. Instead, it means being able to distinguish when it's time to take a stand for what you believe in, even if it sets you apart. This distinction allows you to maintain your integrity and make decisions that align with your true self. The rewards of stepping away from the crowd are profound: a deeper understanding of who you are, a clearer sense of your values, and the confidence that comes from knowing you can rely on yourself. You're not just following someone else's map, you're drawing your own. The path may be less traveled, but it's yours, and that makes all the difference. So, when you find yourself faced with the choice to follow or to step away, remember, growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from daring to be different and having the strength to walk alone. Thank you for joining us in today's video. Before we move on to the next segment, I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to you. It's a pleasure to have you as a member of our community. Please feel free to share your story or personal impressions. Alternatively, if you're unsure of what to say, simply leave a comment saying, "I am a newbie," if you've just joined us, or "I am Stoic," if you've been with us for a while. Your engagement not only signifies your presence, but also serves as a significant motivation for us. All right, let's continue this journey together, shall we? Lesson 5. Avoid external validation. The fifth important lesson you can learn is to avoid seeking external validation. In today's world, where social media and constant comparisons seem to dominate, it's easy to fall into the trap of wanting approval from others to feel worthy. But what does it mean when you rely on others to validate your choices, your achievements, or even your identity? The truth is, when your sense of worth comes from the outside, it's as fragile as a house of cards. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Have you ever asked yourself why that is? Why do we care so much about what others think when the only approval that truly matters is our own? This constant chase for external validation can lead to a life that's not really yours, one shaped by the expectations, judgments, and opinions of others rather than your authentic self. Think about a time when you accomplished something significant, maybe a personal or professional goal. Did you feel genuine pride and fulfillment? Or did that satisfaction only last until someone else either acknowledged or dismissed it? Too often, people measure their worth by the reactions of others: a few likes on a post, a compliment from a colleague, or praise from family. But here's the thing. Relying on these fleeting moments of approval creates a cycle that's hard to break, where you're constantly chasing external applause to feel valid. What happens when those voices fall silent? When the applause dies down? Do you still feel accomplished, or does that doubt creep in? This is why developing an unshakable sense of internal validation is key. You need to be your own source of affirmation, and know that your value isn't tied to someone else's acknowledgement. Consider this. In modern life, some of the most influential figures have learned to tune out the noise of others' opinions and focus on their inner compass. Think of someone like J.K. Rowling, who faced multiple rejections before the world saw Harry Potter as a masterpiece. If she had relied solely on external validation, she would have given up after the first few rejections. Instead, she trusted in her vision and her belief in the story she wanted to tell. So, ask yourself, are you living for the cheers and acceptance of others, or are you living for the purpose that fuels you from within? When you stop letting external opinions dictate your happiness, you start living a life that's genuinely yours. There's a powerful freedom that comes from knowing that your worth is not in someone else's hands. It means you can make decisions that align with your true desires, pursue goals that matter to you, and be content with who you are, regardless of who's watching. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This isn't an invitation to seek negativity, but a reminder that people's opinions will vary, and they often don't reflect your reality or your potential. By stepping away from the need for external validation, you give yourself permission to fail, learn, and grow without the weight of judgment. You start to embrace a life where your confidence comes from within and isn't shaken by the fleeting praise or criticism of others. In modern society, where people are constantly sharing curated versions of their lives online, it's easy to think that everyone else has it together, that they are more successful, more liked, and more accomplished. But the reality is, most people are dealing with their own insecurities, often hidden behind filters and carefully crafted posts. So, why do we put so much stock in their approval? The next time you find yourself wondering if you're good enough because of someone else's opinion or reaction, pause and ask, whose voice am I letting dictate my worth? Redirect that energy inward and remind yourself that you're enough just as you are. The lesson is simple but profound. True fulfillment comes not from being admired by others, but from admiring who you are when no one else is around. This doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world or ignoring constructive feedback. It means being grounded in your own worth so that praise becomes a bonus, not a necessity. Start by acknowledging your achievements privately and celebrating your journey, whether or not anyone else sees it. Practice gratitude for what you bring to the table, not for the recognition you might receive. Remember, walking alone like a lone wolf doesn't signify loneliness but strength. The strength to know that at the end of the day your value is intrinsic. When you master this, you're not just surviving, you're thriving, anchored in a confidence that's unshakable and genuinely yours. Lesson 6. Trust yourself above all. Develop mental toughness. Trusting yourself is one of the greatest strengths you can cultivate in life, and it forms the foundation of true mental toughness. Without trust in your own judgment and abilities, you're left vulnerable to the opinions and influences of others, which can steer you off your path. Have you ever wondered why some people seem unshakable, able to make decisions and stand by them even when everyone else doubts them? It's because they have developed an unyielding faith in themselves. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This underscores the idea that true strength comes from within, and that mental toughness is about mastering your reactions and trusting your own mind over external factors. Developing mental toughness isn't about pretending that challenges don't affect you. It's about acknowledging them and choosing to move forward despite them. Trusting yourself means having the courage to make decisions, knowing that not every choice will be perfect, but each one will teach you something valuable. How often do you hesitate to act because you fear making the wrong move? The truth is, indecision and reliance on external opinions can paralyze progress. When you cultivate trust in yourself, you learn that failure isn't something to be feared but a stepping stone toward growth. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This quote is a powerful reminder that trusting yourself starts with defining who you want to be and taking the necessary steps to embody that person, even when the road gets tough. Think about those moments in life when you were faced with tough decisions, when you stood at a crossroads with no clear answer. Did you look inward and trust your instincts, or did you waver, waiting for someone else to tell you what to do? The most resilient people are those who build the habit of trusting their inner voice. It's not that they don't listen to advice or feedback. They're simply able to filter it through their own judgment. In a world full of noise, where opinions and unsolicited advice are thrown at you from every direction, having the confidence to trust yourself is like having a compass that points you toward your true north. You may ask, but how do I know if I'm making the right choice? The answer is that you won't always know, and that's okay. What matters more is that you are willing to make a choice, learn from it, and keep moving forward. Mental toughness also involves resilience, the ability to bounce back after setbacks and keep going when the path becomes difficult. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to thrive under pressure while others crumble? The difference lies in their mindset. Those who trust themselves are better equipped to handle adversity because they don't see challenges as signs of failure, but as opportunities for growth. They understand that each struggle is shaping them into a stronger, wiser version of themselves. Seneca put it best when he said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." This isn't just about material wealth, but the wealth of inner strength and self-belief. When you trust yourself, you stop seeking external validation to feel complete and start relying on the confidence that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. In modern life, It's easy to second-guess yourself. Social media, societal standards, and even well-meaning friends and family can make you doubt your path. But here's a question to ponder. Are you living life according to your own values, or are you bending under the weight of external expectations? Trusting yourself means building a life that aligns with your beliefs and goals, even if it looks different from what others expect. It's about taking the road less traveled, knowing that the only person you truly need to satisfy is yourself. You won't always get it right, and that's part of the journey. But when you trust in your ability to adapt, learn, and grow, every setback becomes a setup for a comeback. To build mental toughness, start by recognizing your own achievements and the challenges you've already overcome. Reflect on times when you stood firm, trusted yourself, and succeeded. Use those moments as proof that you have what it takes to face whatever comes next. Remember, walking alone, like the lone wolf, doesn't signify isolation but a deep-rooted trust in your own strength. You become your own leader, your own motivator, and your own source of strength. So, the next time you're faced with a tough choice or a moment of doubt, remember to look inward and trust yourself above all. That's where real mental toughness begins, not in never falling, but in getting back up each time, knowing that you have the power within you to stand tall and move forward. Lesson 7. Freedom through independence. Freedom through independence is a lesson that resonates deeply, especially for men aged 30 to 65 navigating the complexities of modern life. In a world where expectations and obligations can feel overwhelming, finding true freedom lies not in escaping responsibilities but in cultivating independence. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic Roman emperor, once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of freedom through independence, understanding that your greatest source of power and freedom comes from within, not from the shifting opinions and influences of the outside world. Have you ever paused to ask yourself, am I living life on my own terms, or am I bound by the need to please others? The answer to this question can illuminate whether you are truly free or merely going through the motions dictated by external expectations. Independence means having the courage to trust your decisions and stand by them, even when they go against the grain. It means being able to choose your path without being swayed by the noise of other people's opinions. How often do we find ourselves making choices to gain approval or fit into someone else's vision of success? The pursuit of freedom requires breaking free from that cycle. Think about the story of Elon Musk, who was repeatedly told that his ideas for space exploration and electric cars were impractical and doomed to fail. Instead of conforming to the doubts surrounding him, he trusted his convictions and built companies that have reshaped industries. This is what independence looks like: the ability to pursue your goals despite the naysayers and the doubters. Seneca's wisdom, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you," serves as a reminder that while independence is crucial, the people you surround yourself with should inspire and uplift you, not limit you. However, even when you have a supportive circle, there will be moments when you have to step out alone. These are the defining moments where your independence is tested. Are you able to push forward when encouragement is lacking? Can you make decisions rooted in your principles, even when faced with criticism? True independence is forged in these moments when you trust yourself enough to walk alone if needed. Modern life is filled with subtle traps that challenge our independence: social media, endless comparisons, and the pressure to keep up with the achievements of others. Have you noticed how easy it is to feel inadequate because of someone else's curated success? But here's the truth: when you measure your worth based on others, you give away your power. Instead, focus on building a life that reflects your values and goals. Independence means recognizing that your journey is unique and doesn't need to mirror anyone else's. The moment you accept this, you start to live more freely, unburdened by unnecessary comparisons. What would it feel like to pursue your passions and ambitions without worrying about what others think? This shift in mindset can change everything. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." This is the challenge of independence, to stay true to who you are despite external pressures. It's not about isolation, but about cultivating the inner strength to make decisions that are aligned with your authentic self. When you live with this mindset, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You become more resilient, more confident, and more capable of facing life's challenges. Consider the quiet power of a lone wolf, moving through the wilderness with surety and strength. It's not lonely, it's focused, clear in its purpose, and capable of thriving on its own terms. This is the image of independence that we should strive for, not a separation from others, but a deep connection to our own convictions. So, how can you apply this to your life? Start by questioning the motivations behind your choices. Are you taking that job, buying that house, or pursuing that goal because it's what you truly want, or because it's what you think is expected of you? Building independence means making decisions that align with your values even when they defy conventional wisdom. It means understanding that true freedom isn't handed to you. It's earned through the courage to be yourself, to trust yourself, and to walk alone when necessary. The lesson here is simple yet powerful. Independence isn't about rejecting help or being isolated. It's about knowing that no matter what, you have the ability to stand strong, follow your path, and live your life on your own terms. Embrace this mindset, and you'll find that freedom is not a distant dream but a reality you can live every day. Lesson 8. Focus on your own path. Focusing on your own path is a lesson that can transform the way you approach life. In a world where it's easy to be distracted by what others are doing, finding the strength to focus solely on your journey is powerful. Have you ever caught yourself comparing your progress to someone else's, wondering why you're not where they are? It's human nature to do so, but it's also one of the most counterproductive habits. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This timeless advice reminds us that true growth and fulfillment come from walking our own path, not trying to fit into someone else's. When you constantly look at others, measuring your worth against theirs, you lose sight of what's most important: your own progress, your own goals, and your own potential. Think about the modern world we live in, driven by social media, where everyone seems to share their perfect moments. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that others are happier, more successful, or further ahead than you are. But let me ask you this: how often do you see the struggles, the late nights, the doubts and the failures behind those posts? The reality is, people usually present their highlight reels, not their challenges. So, focusing on your path means understanding that your journey is uniquely yours and shouldn't be compared to someone else's curated image. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This may sound harsh, but it speaks to the power of staying true to yourself, even when it means not fitting in or facing judgment. Picture a runner in a race. If they keep glancing sideways at their competitors, they lose speed and focus. The same happens in life. When you focus on others, you scatter your energy, diluting your efforts and slowing your progress. But when you fix your eyes on your own lane, your strides become stronger, your pace more consistent, and your finish line clearer. Take, for example, the story of an artist who spent years perfecting his craft. He often watched others gain quick fame through trends he didn't resonate with. Doubt crept in, tempting him to change his style to chase fleeting success. But he chose to stay true to his vision, refining his work in silence. Years later, when his unique voice was finally recognized, it resonated deeply because it was authentic. He found fulfillment, not just in the acknowledgement, but in knowing he had stayed true to his path. You might wonder, how do I stay focused when it feels like everyone around me is moving faster? The answer lies in embracing your pace and celebrating small victories along the way. Progress is not always immediate or visible, but each step matters. Have you noticed that the most fulfilled people are not those who followed the crowd, but those who dared to walk their own path? Ralph Waldo Emerson's words come to mind. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. This isn't about rejecting community or being isolated. It's about not letting external comparisons control your journey. When you focus on your path, you become more grounded and less influenced by the noise of the world around you. You learn to appreciate your unique challenges and the growth that comes with them. Think about your own life. What are the moments when you felt most content and proud? Chances are, they were times when you achieved something that mattered deeply to you, not moments when you gained external applause or followed the crowd. Focusing on your path means listening to your inner voice, trusting your decisions, and knowing that your value doesn't come from keeping up with others, but from staying true to what makes you, you. It means giving yourself permission to grow at your own pace and understanding that life is not a race, but a journey to be experienced in your own way. So, the next time you feel tempted to measure your progress against someone else's, ask yourself, is this comparison helping me grow, or is it holding me back? The lesson here is simple yet profound. Stay committed to your path, celebrate your milestones, and be patient with yourself. When you focus on your own path, you not only grow stronger but also find a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. Your journey is yours alone, unique, unrepeatable, and full of opportunities that only you can seize. Trust in it, embrace it, and keep moving forward with your eyes on your own horizon. Here's a question for you. Have you ever experienced a moment in your life where you chose to walk alone, trusting your instincts despite the uncertainties? We'd love to hear your thoughts or stories. If you're not sure how to comment, feel free to write, "I am inspired to walk my path," or simply, "I am learning." All right, let's move into the next lesson. Lesson 9. Persevere through hardship. Persevering through hardship is one of life's greatest lessons and is essential for building true character and resilience. When challenges come, as they inevitably will, it's easy to feel defeated or question whether you have the strength to keep going. But think about this. How often do we hear stories of great achievements that started with comfort and ease? Rarely, if ever. It's the struggle that shapes us. And it's in those moments of difficulty where we find out who we truly are. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful statement reminds us that obstacles are not meant to block our path but to become part of it, to teach us, strengthen us, and help us grow. Have you ever asked yourself what you learn when everything is easy? True growth, true transformation, happens when we push through the pain, embrace the discomfort, and keep moving forward despite the odds. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who famously faced thousands of failed attempts before inventing the light bulb. When asked about his repeated failures, he replied, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This kind of mindset is what sets apart those who achieve lasting success from those who give up at the first sign of struggle. The lesson here is clear. Perseverance isn't just a trait. It's a choice you make over and over again, even when things seem bleak. It's choosing to keep going when your energy is low, when doubt creeps in, and when the results you're hoping for are nowhere in sight. But why is this so hard for so many? Because facing hardship challenges us to step out of our comfort zones, confront our fears, and trust that the process, as tough as it is, will ultimately lead to growth. Modern life often promotes the idea that if something is difficult, it's not meant for us. We're surrounded by messages that encourage shortcuts, instant gratification, and the pursuit of ease. But here's a question for you. When has taking the easy route ever led to long-term fulfillment? Think of athletes training for years to compete, entrepreneurs working tirelessly to build a business from scratch, or individuals fighting through personal challenges to better themselves. These people don't just endure hardship. they thrive because of it. Their perseverance becomes their strength, and that's where the real victory lies. How many times have you faced an obstacle and thought about giving up? And what did you learn when you pushed through it? The satisfaction of overcoming hardship is unparalleled, and it teaches you that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. Perseverance is also about maintaining hope. When you push through tough times, you learn that setbacks don't define you. Your response to them does. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that things are difficult." This means that the mindset you bring to your challenges can make all the difference. Are you willing to dare? Are you willing to keep going when it feels like the world is against you? Resilience isn't built when things are easy. It's forged in the fires of struggle. The next time you face hardship, instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What is this teaching me?" Shifting your perspective in this way turns obstacles into stepping stones. Think about your own life and the hardships you've faced. Whether it was a career setback, personal loss, or a time when you felt completely lost. What did you learn from those moments? Did they make you stronger, more empathetic, or more determined? Chances are, those experiences taught you valuable lessons you carry with you today. It's easy to feel alone when times get tough, but know this: even the strongest individuals face struggles. The difference is they choose to persevere. They choose to see the difficulty as a part of their journey, not as an endpoint. So when you feel like giving up, remember that perseverance through hardship isn't just about getting through it. It's about growing because of it. This is how you build unshakable resilience and discover a deeper strength within yourself. The lesson is simple. Keep going. You might stumble, you might fall, but each time you rise, you become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. Lesson 10. Stay true to yourself. Staying true to yourself is one of the most essential lessons you can learn, yet it's often one of the hardest to practice. In a world full of voices telling you who to be and how to live, the strength to remain authentic can feel like an uphill battle. But have you ever paused and asked yourself, am I living for me or for the expectations of others? This question holds the power to shift your entire perspective. Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoic wisdom, once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This is a reminder that true fulfillment doesn't come from bending to fit into others' molds, but from living according to your own values and beliefs. The journey of staying true to yourself begins when you embrace who you are, imperfections and all, and stop trying to meet the shifting standards set by society or those around you. Think about how modern life often demands conformity, at work, in social circles, and even within families. It's easy to get caught up in trying to meet expectations, whether it's chasing a career that looks good on paper or adopting beliefs just to fit in. But what's the cost? Living a life that's not aligned with who you truly are can leave you feeling disconnected, exhausted, and unfulfilled. The philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." It's not just poetic, it's practical advice. Staying true to yourself means making decisions that resonate with your core beliefs, even when they're unpopular. It's about listening to your inner voice, that quiet guide that knows what's right for you, and having the courage to follow it. Think about the lone wolf, an emblem of independence and inner strength. The lone wolf doesn't follow the pack out of fear or for validation. It moves through life guided by its instincts, aware that true strength comes from within. This isn't to say you should reject community or the wisdom of others, but rather that you should cultivate the confidence to stand alone when necessary. Have you ever felt that twinge of discomfort when your choices didn't align with what others expected? Did you go along to avoid conflict, or did you take the harder path and stay true to what you believed? Staying true to yourself means accepting that not everyone will understand your path, and that's okay. Seneca said, Be silent as to services you have rendered, but speak of favors you have received. This quote reminds us that authenticity often speaks louder through quiet confidence than loud proclamations. In modern life, where social media amplifies comparisons and feeds the need for approval, staying true to yourself has become even more crucial. We're constantly bombarded with images of what success, happiness, or worth should look like, and it's easy to feel pressured to adapt to those ideals. But let me ask you, how often do those external ideals truly match what you want deep down? The answer might surprise you. When you start aligning your life with your own values rather than those imposed by others, you begin to experience a sense of peace that external validation can never provide. You stop second-guessing yourself and start living with a conviction that builds resilience. Staying true to yourself also means being willing to embrace vulnerability. It means owning your story, the successes, failures, strengths, and flaws, and understanding that these are the things that make you unique. It's easy to present a curated version of yourself that aligns with what others want to see, but doing so comes at the cost of authenticity. Brené Brown, a renowned researcher, says, "Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. This is the practice that leads to true freedom." Have you ever noticed how freeing it feels when you make a decision based on what you truly want, even if it doesn't gain approval from others? That's the power of staying true to yourself. The lesson is clear. Staying true to yourself is not a one-time choice but a daily commitment. It means making tough decisions that align with your beliefs and being okay with standing apart from the crowd. It means looking in the mirror and being proud of the person staring back, knowing that your path may not be the easiest, but it's yours. And in the end, the most fulfilling life is one where you can say you lived true to who you are, unapologetically and fully. So, next time you're faced with a decision that tests your authenticity, ask yourself, am I being true to me? Let that question guide you forward with confidence and strength. Lesson 11. Embrace your own power. Embracing your own power is a vital lesson, yet it is often overlooked in a world that constantly pushes us to seek validation from external sources. What does it mean to truly embrace your power? It means recognizing that your strength comes from within and is not dependent on the approval of others or the circumstances around you. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a profound reminder that real power lies not in controlling everything around us, but in mastering our responses and trusting our inner resilience. Have you ever found yourself holding back because you were waiting for someone else's approval or reassurance? Think about how often we hesitate, whether at work, in relationships, or while pursuing a personal goal, simply because we're uncertain if we're good enough. But here's the truth. No one else can grant you the power that already resides within you. Only you can activate it. Consider the story of an entrepreneur who spent years seeking investors who would believe in his vision. He faced rejection after rejection, each one chipping away at his confidence. One day, tired of waiting for someone else to validate his idea, he decided to invest in himself. He started small, using his own savings, and poured every ounce of his energy into making his dream a reality. Eventually, his venture succeeded, not because someone handed him an opportunity, but because he harnessed his own power and believed in his vision. This is what it means to embrace your own power, taking ownership of your potential, betting on yourself, and moving forward even when no one else sees what you see. Ask yourself, what's holding you back from embracing your own power? Is it fear of failure, fear of judgment, or the comfort of playing it safe? Modern life often distracts us from recognizing our true power. We're told that success is found in titles, wealth, or the praise of others. Social media reinforces this by showcasing curated highlights of other people's lives, making it easy to believe that everyone else is stronger, more successful, or more capable. But here's a question. Do those external measures truly reflect power, or do they create an illusion that leaves you feeling inadequate? The reality is, power isn't found in comparisons. It's found in your ability to trust yourself and take decisive action. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This is a powerful reminder that your worth is defined by you, not by the opinions or validation of others. To embrace your own power, you need to cultivate self-belief and resilience. Start by acknowledging your strengths and the challenges you've overcome. When was the last time you faced a setback and rose stronger from it? Those moments are proof of the power you possess. The path to embracing your power isn't always easy. It often requires stepping out of your comfort zone and facing uncertainty. It means making decisions that align with your values, even if they're met with skepticism or doubt from others. Have you ever noticed that the people who inspire you most are those who dare to be different and trust in their abilities, regardless of the obstacles? This isn't a coincidence. It's the result of them embracing their power and moving forward with conviction. There's a common saying, "Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for." This applies to you too. Playing it safe might protect you from failure, but it also holds you back from realizing your full potential. Embracing your power means taking calculated risks and knowing that even if you stumble, you'll have the strength to get back up. The lesson here is clear. Your power isn't something that comes from others. It's something you choose to acknowledge and act upon. The next time you doubt your capabilities or hesitate to take a step forward, remind yourself that everything you need to succeed is already within you. Your power comes from trusting yourself, persevering through challenges, and moving ahead with confidence, no matter who is watching or who believes in you. Embrace it fully, and you'll not only navigate life's storms, but thrive in them. As we conclude, remember that the journey of embracing your own power is not without its challenges, but it is where true freedom and resilience are born. Your strength comes from trusting yourself, pushing through setbacks, and believing in your potential even when no one else does. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Let this be a reminder that the power you seek is already within you, waiting to be recognized and activated. Trust in your abilities, take ownership of your path, and move forward with confidence. If today's message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stoic in Your Life. And turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Keep walking your path, stay strong, and embrace the journey ahead.